For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
NewsSpin is the best. Listen up. NewsSpin is the best. Me say listen up massive. NewsSpin is the best, yeah. Better than every talk show. The most conscious monitor talk show. All across the world. Check your signal, it blaze up the airwave. NewsSpin on your radio, hear me now. Tune in the frequency, come along, Junior. NewsSpin a vice up the place. NewsSpin is the best. Listen to the massive. NewsSpin is the best. Knowledge must abound. NewsSpin is the best. Fancy mount knock a play way. NewsSpin is the best. Papa Bondier by team, all man. Across the land, all across the globe. Echoes of voices, we join in hands in hand. Harmony rising with the afternoon sun. Come along, NewsSpin has begun. NewsSpin is the best. Better than every talk show. The most conscious monitor talk show in the world. The true facts about Sophia volcano, sandy beach, banana and sneak mango. Voices from the chat room, the capital Castries Hills. We feel you warm Caribbean breeze, teaching the truth, making hearts feel ease. Knowledge must open up every mind. Learn about your island home. We leave no one behind. NewsSpin on your radio. Pull up the volume, Jay. NewsSpin on your radio. Pull up your seats. Afternoon time. NewsSpin on your radio. Come along. NewsSpin on your radio. Let the message strong.
Somebody tell me that even the criminal elements in the society take a break between 12:30 and 2 o'clock just to focus on NewsSpin, because they're all ears. You want to see and to hear whether we're focusing on them. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. It is on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. We'll take your calls in a moment at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Jante going through the comments in the chat rooms, and she'll be having some updates for us. Urgent breaking news. Somebody says, Tim, I couldn't even wait for the broadcast today. We in Grand Riviere Grosile Piat are frustrated. We don't have water for months now. It is almost like we are being punished, and no response from Wasco or from our MP, Kenson Casimir. We need water. So Wasco, whatever you can do on behalf of NewsSpin, please try to take care of the folks over in Grand Riviere Grosile Piat. They are very frustrated, and they have been without a service for months now. Whatever you can do, please try to bring some kind of relief to them. While we're on Wasco, let's listen to a report filed last evening during the DBS News World by Miriam Montoute. And the Wasco officials, they were focusing yesterday on the situation, water woes, also highlighting the concerns of consumers and discussing some of the various measures that they plan in the not too distant future to implement so that the situation can be satisfactorily addressed.
During a press conference on Wednesday, Jim King, the water services manager at the Water and Sewage Company Wasco, said that water levels at the John Compton Dam for 2026 are slightly lower than 2025 for this period. He stated that even this small difference is significant.
Overall, in the Babuno area, for example, our levels of production at the Hill 20 treatment plant has gone down by 49-50%. Normally, would be producing 1.2 million gallons of water daily from that treatment plant. Right now, our production levels are at around 500,000 daily. So you can see the vast difference and the marked decline in the levels of production. This transfers to our customers, and then we have a marked deficit in the supply levels as it relates to what is needed by the customers for their daily use.
King said the effects of climate change and the dry season are worse in the south than in the north. These areas include the Pasias and the Miku treatment plants, which show declines based on the same period last year. Wasco Chief Executive Officer Zilta George Leslie described the island's water situation as bleak, with water supplies being depleted due to climate change. She stated that Wasco has to manage the limited supply of water with consumers through valving and water trucking. She explained how Wasco manages the distribution of water through trucking between commercial and domestic consumers.
So, thankfully, the hotels, I must say, they have been very cooperative, and we actually do not truck on a normal day to hotels. The hotels do their own private trucking, so we are able to focus specifically on our domestic customers. So the commercial customers also do their own private trucking. So that really lifts the burden, on Wasco. And I must commend them, honestly, because they've been very, very cooperative. They manage their own trucking of water. So we don't need to do that for them.
However, water trucking is not without its own challenges and consequences.
The trucking affects the entire country because we actually have to take from places where, I'm not saying that they have extra, but where they have more than other places and move around. It's actually more of like sharing what little resource we have.
Wasco continues to push for the public to continue rainwater harvesting and increase water storage capacity. For the DBS News World, Miriam Montoute reporting.
And that report was filed and aired last evening during the DBS News World. Thank you so much, Miriam, for that report. Excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. And I know that one or two of you folks at the Water and Sewage Company right now, you're paying attention, you're listening, you're monitoring to the broadcast. But what you said there, not anything new. We hear about those same issues whenever we have the dry season. Okay? We also hear about the same and experience the same water shortages outside of that season, during the wet season. So what is the problem? We know what the problems are, but you guys are just too inefficient to deal with the issue. That's what it is. And we as consumers, we find ourselves at your mercy. What you said there, not anything new. We have heard those before. And why convene a press conference? Honestly, why convene a press conference? You could have sent the media outlets, the journalists, the reporters to the archives. 10 years ago. Go to your archives, try to get a clip of whoever is responsible for water resource management, whatever you want to call it at Wasco. Whoever is the CEO at Wasco, take that clip and just play it in your newscast. That's all. It will be just about the same thing. And we're not being unfair. NewsSpin is not being unfair to you. That is a fact. We have gone through this problem for far too long. We know what the problems are. Depletion of resources. You're talking about, for example, having those water shortages during the dry season. During the wet season, we have problems with turbidity. The water is coming out brown. We can't deal with it. Our infrastructure definitely cannot cope. We know those issues. Give us a solution. Because you come across as being ordinary. Just a stuck record. Saying the same thing all over and over. And you are being paid a salary for doing what? Tell me. Let's be realistic. If you're in top management at Wasco and you are being paid a salary, tell me for doing what? It is definitely not to the satisfaction of the consumers in St. Lucia. What else is happening? I got a call just before you got on the air. Somebody is complaining about the provision of health services in that West Coast town. And the news is 2 health centers. One health center located in Etang and the other in Fort Saint-Jacques. Those health centers are now closed for renovation as we speak. And I remember saying to the individual, so it's me you want to do your suicide job for you? Why don't you call NewsSpin at about 12:35, 12:40 and you can complain to the authorities, the parliamentary sec, the minister of health, etc. And the person said to me, boy, I don't want to be victimized, etc. Okay, so I'm doing it for you. So there's 2 health centers. They're closed now for renovation in Etang and also in Fort Saint-Jacques. And they're closed for a meaningful purpose, for renovation. We understand that. And I think they'll be closed until about June of this year as part of this major World Bank project. And this happened without sufficient notification going out to members of the public, those people who would be affected. And so, at the last moment, people are being turned now. They must seek medical treatment, medical attention at the Soufrière Hospital. So services are not available in those communities, and there's a lot of confusion. So I've done what was asked of me. I was hoping that the relevant authorities will attend to that particular concern. On a lighter note, a NewsSpin contributor is celebrating his birthday today. His name is Patrick Rigobert, better known, of course, as Pato. Today is your birthday. Happy birthday to you, sir. I was hoping that you'll be having a great birthday and all the celebration that should come with it during the course of today. And those birthday greetings are coming from Sister Lucy of Brooklyn over in New York. And her real name is Lucita Jean-Pierre. Lucita Jean-Pierre sending out greetings to Patrick Rigobert, better known as Pato, who is celebrating his birthday. It was with much recklessness that we heard from a particular individual. I am told that he resides overseas, and he threatened the life of the Prime Minister, threatening to shoot the Prime Minister in his head, saying that he is worthy of being shot in his head. And that is in light of what happened over the weekend in the waters between St. Lucia and St. Vincent by the U.S. authorities. And we are told 3 lives were lost, including that of 2 St. Lucian nationals. And this guy was in a frenzy, being reckless. He took to social media, and you would have seen him via WhatsApp threatening the life of the Prime Minister. And I remember putting this message on our NewsSpin Facebook page saying that we condemned it. This is unacceptable. Whether it's this Prime Minister, any future Prime Minister before, that cannot be tolerated at all. Mea culpa on his part. All of a sudden, he is sorry. You know, sometimes we do things and people like to blame the devil. But on this occasion, he's saying that he was under the influence of drugs and alcohol. So, he is sorry. Let us listen and let's watch as well.
Yes, people, it's me. I just come out to address the nation and address the government of St. Lucia. Yeah, for what I said, because I didn't mean to say that, and I was under influence of drugs and alcohol for the past 4 days. And then being with people and talking and stuff, and then that shit come out from my mouth. So Philippe Jean-Pierre, whatever I said, I'm very sorry about that. That wasn't meant to be said, but when alcohol and drugs involved and stuff like that, sometimes, but I'm really sorry about that. I want the whole nation and everybody of St. Lucia, to know that I'm very sorry, and I meant it. This was not supposed to happen. But unfortunately, it already been said. I hope you accept my apology, and everyone else that have been commenting and saying X, Y, and Z. I know, yes, like I said, it wasn't me. I just recovered from myself back and feeling good in myself. So that's why I come back and apologize today and make myself clear of what's going on, because I see my picture circulating and everything. But the same I posted here, whatever people want to say, but yes, like I said, I was under influence on drugs and alcohol, and then that happened. Like I say again, sorry, Philippe Jean-Pierre, to you and all your colleagues and all those that felt offended by it. I'm very sorry about it, and I hope you'll accept my apology. And everybody else around the nation who...
The Africans say, I apologize. Well, guy, the drugs and the alcohol not going with you. Please stay away from it. All right, so... apology. I hope it is accepted. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026, and Jante is going through your comments in the chat rooms. In the meantime, let me go through a WhatsApp message. Tim, what is it Wasco is saying we don't already know? What are the plans to mitigate? Jesus. And so the person continues, the centers at Jacmel and Millet are also closed. And we have yet another WhatsApp message, and it says, hi Tim, why can't Wasco take a loan from BOSL to replace the age pipes? If GPH can get a loan from that bank, Wasco should not have any problem getting one from them as well. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin, you are on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy Poleon. Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to your listeners. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
All right. First and foremost, I agreed with you earlier on, on your comment about Wasco. They were just inefficient. That's all. Management needs to change. Now, Monday, I got a call from somebody from Wasco because I made a report over, I think it was Thursday. I made a report. I'm from the Choiseul area.
Mm-hmm.
I made a report because I hadn't been with water for like almost a whole week. Okay, I mean, that's nothing compared to how many of your viewers and callers.
You're right.
But yeah. But, you know, they took my number down and whatnot, and they actually called me up. Somebody actually called me up Monday. Okay, I mean, I got water back Friday, you know, after about maybe 4 days of without water. So that's nothing compared to how many other viewers. Okay. But I actually got a call back from them. I was like, okay, it seems something is happening. At least they're responding. So hopefully, you know, I want to give them their little props, if any. But for sure, management at Wasco needs to change. Okay? Now, to all other St. Lucians out there, just want to take this time to wish you a happy independence. Okay? To you and all. And have a good day, Tim.
Same to you, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Also got a call yesterday. Somebody said that on a section of Miku Street, Lower Miku Street, almost opposite SNS, close to a caravan there has been water seeping out of a gutter and entering into a drain in that area. And they have called Wasco to address that problem. The person told me that Wasco has assured them that they are very much aware of that situation, and they're looking forward to attend to it. It has been a few months now. Let's see if you have a call on the landline as we say hello. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon to you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon to Shanti. Tim, there have two things that are really on my mind. And yesterday I did try to call, but I think I need to echo that or put it out. In relation to the U.S. bombing of, boat in the Caribbean. Now, I know before it was of the coastal Trinidad and Venezuela. And now it have reached so far, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Tim, I'm just thinking, and somebody did say, what about if they're going to turn a boat right? What can happen? What about we travel on Express Desalination, huh? And that could happen to Express with almost 300 passengers on board. Is it a case, Tim?
You think that is possible, caller? I mean, considering that the Americans would have done their due diligence and the surveillance to determine whether, that is a suspicious boat. I can't fathom that the Americans would be so reckless.
Yeah, there can be a lot of miscalculation, Tim.
Okay, it's possible, yeah.
But the other thing that really grappled me again, Tim, I noticed lately we have had a number of our young men, that are serving in the British Army, coming back home in coffins. Now, I don't want to be speculating, but I think I need to mention that yesterday was a funeral of a young guy, 26-year-old. We were told that he got cancer, and then that's it, he came back in a coffin. In Derry, so we have another young one again, very young guy in the British Army. I think cancer as well. There's another one up in that same area which suffered the same fate. Now, I'm just saying, you just tell the family he got cancer and he died, and then that's just it. To me, you don't believe, maybe I'm speculating too much, that there may have been certain things while they're in the military, they're not really too keen to in terms of chemicals, not equip or dress enough and end up inhale this or come closer to these things.
Well, we ought to have representatives in the UK, and they should be seeking those answers on our behalf, caller.
Because it troubles something. So many young potential young men who went to the British Army, and a couple of them have been come back in coffins.
Mm-hmm.
It is just something to me. I even yesterday had a discussion with a family of them, and I said, to me that looked very fishy to me. And to just tell you, your son got treated, he got cancer and then he died, or he suffered from this and that, and then all of us.
In recent times, about how many cases, as far as you're aware?
Based on right now, I think there have been a few, but in my area in particular, I could just call it the next person. Pretty soon, it will be two. There was one in Beaufort North yesterday,
okay, and
in the southern part of the area. Now I find, you're looking at those young guys, I know them very well. They will look very strong and thing. I mean, I'm not a doctor to determine what they have inside, what they left with. But the fact is, I mean, to just hear the news that is the case and then boom, boom, in a twinkling of an eye.
And imagine that before they were recruited, they would have gone through an intense examination regarding their health.
Very well. Now, I'm saying, if you, like, the British Army is not like the U.S., which more into war, and you would say they die or maybe they ambush on combat, and then they end up saying, no, the British they give these guys the training, but they're not really too much into war. But I'm saying maybe they get infected by certain substance, or maybe because they have position, because the one who died, who buried, they said it was a corporal in the British Army, they have ranks. And maybe because, a lot of our young fellas went pretty well overseas while serving overseas, and that could end up being some sort of jealousy or something, and something probably deliberately happened to them or exposed to them in certain things that they themselves are not really into. So, I mean, I'm not even into a grenade. A grenade, you move up in and you throw that. But then there are certain substances, maybe in the army, they get exposed to. And that could be the reason. And I only hope we don't have too many of our young people coming back in coffin and beer. I mean, it just not sound good. I mean, you could see how emotional it was yesterday at that funeral, that to see that nice young guy, and then here comes, that is just the result. I think that worth, to me, we have a British High Commission, the St. Lucia High Commission to the UK. That need to be maybe somebody to check on where the sellers are serving, where they are. Are they in a proper place, or they have the proper gear, equipment to handle certain chemicals or something? But I just find I had to say that yesterday because it really worrisome. Thank you for the time.
Okay, caller. Thank you so much for sharing that bit of information with us, and we just hope that the authorities will not take this for granted and try to get to the bottom of this issue. For what you know, it could be just circumstances, and not anything that would have been linked to their tour of duty in the UK or anything associated with their work. Somebody says there, to the guy who made the threat, don't do it again, okay? But we accept on behalf of PJP because the family of those who lost their lives haven't gotten a condolence or apology for their loss from the Prime Minister. We are still waiting for some proper feedback. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, team.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Team.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
How is Miss Elcock? Miss Elcock, I'm fine, holding on. Tim, I think it's time that the government puts something in place that when these hoteliers come here to invest, that they should demand that these hotels have their reserve for water. Whereas Wasco have to be taking, even though, what's her name said that, Wasco trucking their own water, but that is water that could be distributed to us. You understand? I'm not saying if the hotel has a problem, for water, but they should make it mandatory that these hotels have their catchment, have their reserves, you understand, tanks enough. So when there's a water problem, that the water that should be used for should not be trucking, whether it's their own trucks or not, to the hotels. And this would help a lot. The hotels need to have their own reservoirs of water. I'm not saying that when there's a problem that we cannot, Wasco cannot assist. But in times like now with that water crisis, the hotel should not be trucking water from Wasco, whether it's with their trucks or not. You understand? Mm-hmm. They should put something in place and demand that these hotels have their own reservoirs for water. Thank you, team.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your point of view with us. Somebody says that, Tim, we cannot harvest water if there isn't any rain. No rain in Piat. And the person stresses again, Tim, we cannot harvest water if there is no rain. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello.
Hi. Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good afternoon to Janty and the listeners.
Correct.
Tim, here we are again going and talking about Wasco. And I think you have said it before. The press conference that was held yesterday, that could have been replayed from previous scripts from decades ago. But after listening to last week, I listened to one of the contributors to the program. He seemed to have some experience and some knowledge about how water works. And this tells me that we do have people in this country who Wasco could actually consult to ease the problems that they're facing over the years. But if one takes a close look at the leadership and the managerial staff at Wasco, what you will find is that there is very little certification in water management. I will even go further to say, Tim, and you may know that better than me, that the main qualifications to the people at the top at Wasco is the close affiliation to the current SLP administration. So when they come and they say that the current water crisis is due to climate change, I don't think so. That is not, it is self-inflicted. And that is self-inflicted because it does not happen only with this administration, but in this case, we have to talk about this administration. It is because the political agenda is what has stopped Wasco from pursuing and doing better. Because the last administration, to my memory, they embarked on a really aggressive desalting program, and that has stopped. So when we hear today that there is a decline in the number of the volume of water at the tank, this desalting has not been carried out. It has not been done. So we need to put politics aside where Wasco is concerned. And they need to look at the people at the top of Wasco. This is the big elephant in the room. These people have absolutely no qualifications in managing water, and we need to get the people who are competent in that department to head Wasco, and maybe we could do something. They might even have to consider privatizing the water, because that water thing in this country, it cannot allow it to continue. That's my contribution for the day.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. And the Prime Minister did make reference to considering a PPP arrangement where you have public-private sector interest coming together towards finding a solution to Wasco's problems. But the last time that this was suggested, a few decades ago, I think it was during the reign of St. Lucia Labour Party administration, headed by Dr. Kenny Anthony. This was challenged to the extent that people were threatening to undertake public demonstrations and so on, because they're saying that any such arrangement would result in the water rates being very exorbitant, to the extent that poor indigent people will not be able to afford Wasco's service. So again, this now is being revisited, and I think at the time that this suggestion was being protested, not primarily by opposition politicians, but also by the NGO community. And I remember one of the leading groups that was against this was the National Consumers Association. Good afternoon to you, Jean-T. Let's find out what is happening in the chat rooms.
Good afternoon, Tim. Starting off on YouTube, we have a comment saying, I wonder whether top management personnel at Wasco are experiencing the same problem as us common folk. Another saying, recycled excuses only. Zilton needs to exit Wasco with the very poor excuses. Where is the rain to harvest a bunch of jokers in a pack of cards? Another saying, so you're telling me if they raise water, this will make us get more water? How does raising the price increase the capacity of the dam? You'll have to have a dredging fee, which is supposed to help with this. Another saying, where does the hotels get their trucking from? Isn't it from the same Wasco system? Look, St. Lucians, you're really foolish. Another saying, just like Mr. Jeremiah's office closed the Meekwood Village Health Center. Moving on to Facebook, we have one saying, caller please, they know exactly what boats bring what and where. Another saying, amen caller, you are on point. Another saying, they could be sick for true, who knows. Another saying, lady, the hotel should close because there's no water and you should be sent home, pure selfishness. Another saying, Tim, I don't see the big deal because it's the little black boy. Remember when they threatened to bomb Shas and Guy? Such hypocrites. Don't get me wrong, it was a wrong move, but when someone's life is threatened, troops. Another one saying, that's the right thing to do, my brother, despite your frustrations. 3 words, apologize. Apologize my foot. Another saying, tell Wasco they're giving the hotels too much credit and cutting normal households for peanuts. Another saying, every year is the same blah blah blah. A copy and paste report. Another saying, Wasco is looking to purchase their own dredging equipment. I know this is an important part of the solution, but can we afford it at this current time? Wouldn't it be better to put the monies into upgrading infrastructure? And another saying, why haven't a change in management been part of the decision for solution? Instead, every year we get the same excuses. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Jante. WhatsApp message. Somebody says that, Tim, the caller is right about young men in the British Army. I know 2 young men from Babino, one from Kako and one from Fonson. They both came back in body bags and cancer was their cause of death. As according to a WhatsApp message, yet another message. We, Lucian, and to those who can afford, build cistern, and also government can find funds to help its citizens with water tanks. Stop blaming Wasco. We are in a drought crisis. Yet another WhatsApp message, and the person says there, I want to start my contribution with a very short story. There was a father with his family. He was also a striving farmer who served most of the people in his community with produce from his farm. In light of his contributions to his community, he was gifted a huge water tank by the people of the community. A huge farm was constructed by a foreign investor. Because of the size of this new farm in the area, their water supply began getting low. The foreign farmer had a meeting with the farmer. An arrangement was made that the farmer supply him with water from his tank at a huge cost. People in the area who also used water from his tank soon realized huge water tanks or used water trucks were coming to the farmer's tank, collecting water and depositing it into the tank of this foreign farmer. People in the area were restricted as to the amount of water they were given. There were times we were stopped from collecting water from the tank. It was so worrying that his wife and children were left without water for days. The people in the community, including his family, kept on crying to the farmer, we are soon approaching a drought and our tank is already close to the bottom level. Please stop selling our water. The farmer just didn't care about his family and community. That is, according to a WhatsApp message. Somebody says that, Tim, I fear walking in public with my Wasco uniform. I know the manager at Wasco always has water. Again, that's according to a WhatsApp message. And let's see there what somebody is saying via WhatsApp through another message just coming to hand. And the person says, Tim, for the past few weeks, there are some guys who are around the Shock roundabout. They watch when pedestrians are climbing the walkover and snatch their bags. There's one of the individual and that happened to her last Friday. They are targeting ladies about 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. nightly. I'm asking the public to be aware of this. Let's take a call on the landline. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you on the air. Hello?
Hello, Tim. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
That's your partner there.
Mm-hmm.
I said something about a year ago and somebody wanted to take me on, but I just leave that up. We have in, let's say, 6 months of sun, lented season. But for the past 3-4 years, look at your shy blue, a lot of water. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not telling people what to buy with their money. Okay? We have tanks in abundance. Okay? Rain falling all the time. Rain falling all the time. Nupaka catch said Lucia appears. And then that problem I have again. Okay? There are 2 brothers coming from all the way Grand Rivière. They only go la rivière là. La rivière non est polluted. They only go la rivière, Grand Rivière. They have a jet truck full of show and play the truck here. And I have a problem with that thing. And I don't care who gets loose. Bye bye.
Okay, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. According to the BBC, Andrew arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office, as the King says law must take its course. And of course, which takes us to our NewsSpin question of the day. The NewsSpin question of the day, and it reads, what can St. Lucia learn from the arrest of the King's brother for misconduct in public office? What can St. Lucia learn from the arrest of the King's brother for misconduct in public office? The NewsSpin question of the day. And let's see if we have any more of your messages. Somebody says that, Tim, I have 4 tanks and they are all empty. Let's take a WhatsApp call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, caller.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks. Tim, listening to all these complaints, we all know these are nothing new, right? And the issue we've been having with water, I was just having a conversation not too long ago with someone about this. Tim, everything we have in our country, Tim, are left for other people to take care of. It's like we don't want to put in the work to do anything, and you hear people talk about we don't have water. My brother, we have water. The problem is distributing the water. The problem is catching that water, all that water that's running. Asking individuals, Tim, to basically fetch for them water themselves. You know, in some countries, it's illegal to actually catch water off your roof and stuff like that.
But it's not illegal
because
here.
There's a system.
It is not illegal here.
No.
We can do it. I think, but what is troubling, caller, is that water eventually will run out. It will run
Precisely.
out. Because a lady just said
Well,
there, I think she sent me a WhatsApp message, she has a certain amount or certain number of water tanks, and they are all empty. So you can only do so much as a consumer.
But here's why this is happening, Tim. Here's why. Because I was from a community growing up as a young man where water was that problem today, it was in existence. And I'm 40 plus years today, and it still is in existence in the country. What I'm saying is we have a lack of taking the lead into doing things in the country, whether it's water or any other thing. Tim, a dam was built. How long was that dam built? How many years ago?
Since the 1990s, caller.
1990s.
Mm-hmm.
After this dam was built, what have been done around that dam to actually increase its capacity, or even to say, guys, let's modify that dam. Or maybe we could even invest in building a dam somewhere else, because we are still having this problem. You see, Tim, we are not serious in the country, Tim. You know, I remember very well being in high school when that dam was being built and all the chaos that was happening surrounding this dam. We are not serious, Tim. Tim, if we as a people cannot see those basic needs being fulfilled, and depending on who is going to do something about it, Tim, you'll still have opposition on it. Because if somebody decide, hey, listen, we've had this problem enough, let me just take the bull by the horn, and just do something about it, someone else will query. But Tim,
hold on, listen to this. Too many people wake up in the morning, put in their nice clothes, go into their vehicles, and they go to work. All right? Particularly involved in the operations of the water and sewage company. I'm not identifying anyone in particular. And yet still we have nothing to show. You leave your home every day, go into your vehicle, you go to work, you're working with Wasco, and yet still people have been complaining incessantly. Not only during the dry season. If it's only the dry season, we say, well, boy, we understand and so on. But incessantly, people are without water. Why are you leaving your home? Why are you working? Why are you still in that job? What do you have to show?
Now, you have to answer something there, Tim, because now you bring up the point and I'll bring something forward to you. Tim, there are so many people making money off water, transporting water.
Yeah.
If you were to stop that, you know what's going to happen? People are going to say, "Guys, the man had his job and he just take the job from." But that should not be happening in the first place, my brother. Should not be happening. We cannot be paying for a system that is working against us. It is working against us for many. And talking about the hotel, I hear people talking about the hotel. Tim, I'm pretty sure government have some form of agreement with these hotels that they're getting some form of payment from these hotels for these waters that they're using. Because the hotel is not consuming water like a residential home. You understand?
I don't think it has anything to do with the government. Maybe they're paying Wasco.
But the government has some shares in Wasco based on what I know.
Yes, but I'm just saying maybe the negotiation takes place directly between.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Mm.
So, but in any case, Tim, in any case, shouldn't we look at a bigger picture? For example, you look at the northern part of the island, where we have so many hotels being built, and we're still seeing hotels being built, whether it's in Castries or anywhere around in the north. Why are we not looking at the south? Why are we not improving infrastructure in the south? And maybe we can have hotels in the south as well. And we can ease that squeeze that we keep putting on an infrastructure that is already in full capacity. Because when you look at it, that infrastructure, Team, in the 90s, nothing was done with it. It's still the same. And it's whole. I heard the gentleman said that basically they're collecting 50% less water. Is that what he said?
Yes.
I think he said a million.
Yes.
And
about a million.
Tim, that should never happen, Tim. So who are those people that were collecting that data? Who are those people? Because clearly, if I'm at 100%, Tim, and I drop 30%, I'm already you supposed to jump and say, hey, we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nobody said there was a problem. You know, I understood a few years ago they wanted to dredge this thing. I don't know what really transpired in about that. But Tim, we need to do something. I think we're complaining too much. People, we need to do something. And even, Tim, do you know that there are places, there are communities that actually have tanks and they still have problem with water?
Yeah.
So I mean, there is still a lot of issues. I have people call you all the time and mention how there are pipes that have water running for weeks. Where are those people to come and actually from Wasco to say, hey, this needs to stop? Tim, I believe Wasco have a management problem. Their contract being dished out at Wasco, that doesn't even make sense. I'm not asking you that things I know. You know, they pay a lot of money uselessly, and you see they're fixing the very same things over and over. So if you have a company that is managing money that way, you know, obviously you're going to have a problem, Tim. And we need to do something quick. Lucians, you all got to wake up, man. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Somebody says that via WhatsApp. Tim, if everyone has to go out and buy water tanks, that means also the pipes will dry out. The best solution is for Wasco to have water flowing through the pipes. Less tanks and more water in the pipeline. That is it. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. Some more of your calls still to come. WhatsApp messages. I know that will continue the discussion. The Briefcase is hosting a pop-up in VA4 Town Square on Saturday, 28th of February 2026, offering fast, stress-free help with passport and visa applications. They also assist with passport renewals, police records, U.S. visas, and business registration. No lines, no hassle, just expert support, all in one place. You can also visit their main office on High Street, Castries, opposite the ID card office, Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Special promotion, apply for a passport with the Briefcase for a chance to win a trip to Martinique aboard Express des Îles for independence. Promotion ends on February 28th of 2026.
Luclec.com today and sign up to my account to pay your bill, request a temporary or new connection, or switch an account to your tenant's name. Do it all online.
Personal, paperless, use the virtual service desk. Are you ready? Get set. Let's go green with Luclec.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbute at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
So fast pay, a new and easy way to pay. So fast pay, so fast pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
Flow fast pay, 2 minutes and you're on your way. Flow fast pay, flow fast pay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Chronic back pain, arthritis, spinal injuries, nerve disorders, even painful cramps. These conditions affect daily life, but you don't have to live with pain. Every day matters when it comes to your health. At La Clinique du Corps, we provide fast, accurate diagnosis with advanced GE-certified MRI technology and internationally recognized specialists. Our focus is safe, effective treatment that restores mobility, relieves pain, and gives you back your quality of life. Call 451-6559 today. 451-6559. La Clinique du Corps, because time is vital in health.
First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true. With a mortgage built around you, tailored to make sure everything's smooth. 100% financing, it's true. Get a first wish mortgage, it's the best move. Get your mortgage now and fulfill your first wish. Just knowing that First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true.
Visit your First National Bank branch or firstnationalbankonline.com to apply for your first wish mortgage.
At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer high-quality products from Martinique, and our ready mix is made with casting sand, not regular pumice. Compared to regular pumice, casting sand saves you in your cement use. At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, our materials come from porcelain stones, which is used as an additive in creating cement. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexar, behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastouche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
CPJ, fresh mat, give me a fresh start. Look at money I
Now I'm
save
spending
in.
money and I not vex. Cause there's so many things that I can get.
But everybody crying, but finally it's here. Great value for your money, so don't worry, have no fear. Don't worry about no parking, there's parking everywhere. CPJ Fresh Market, there's no doubt, the choice is clear.
And you saving money every day.
At CPJ,
a wide variety.
At CPJ,
great customer service, yeah.
At CPJ,
and the highest quality.
At CPJ.
CPJ Fresh Market, where service is just the beginning.
Independent savings are here. From Thursday, February 26th to Sunday, March 1st. Enjoy a massive 25% off store-wide at M&C Home Depot and Sunbelt locations. Fix it, build it, refresh it. Now it's time to save big. Enjoy 25% off tools and all your home improvement essentials. Stock up and celebrate independence the smart way, plus amazing doorbuster deals you don't want to miss. Hurry now! Independent savings are for a limited time only. Terms and conditions apply. See in-store for details.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We have a call via WhatsApp. Hello. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon to you, Tim. And how you been doing?
Good
afternoon, Tim.
I am okay. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Good. Tim, I have a question for Wasco. With all that problem that they have in St. Lucia for what? Why Wasco don't do like St. Martin or Barbados? Okay? Refine water, seawater, and distribute the water. I mean, every year is the same. Every year, people will cry. I mean, there is children have to go to school, food place closing, teachers cannot go to school. I mean, we're tired of hearing that every year. Wasco got to do something. Or the government had to put the foot down and say, enough is enough. Do something for the St. Lucians. We elected you to see about our own affairs. We're tired of crying and crying year after year. Come on, I believe St. Lucia, the government and Wasco could do better. I can recall there was some catchment in Monier, where the old Monier people build the old tank, and where them people build up the house is lower down. All the water was going down the hill, and those who are on top of the hill couldn't get the water. What's wrong with that water? They condemn that water. Tim, there is enough river in St. Lucia where Wasco could pick up the water and distribute the water. There is enough river. When you look at it from Bogus down to Sufa, all them places are rivers. I mean, they could do something. Stop having St. Lucian crying. I mean, I want to come down to my homeland, but I don't want to come down to my homeland and then next thing I can't get water to wash my behind or cook my food. You got to do something, man. Come on, think of this, man. You have got to do something. Stop having St. Lucian crying. Enough is enough. Tim, this is my contribution.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for sharing it with us, calling from the diaspora. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. We have another call, this time on the landline. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Okay, well, that's that call. We have another call via WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon. Go ahead with your contribution, caller. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, think we have lost that call. Hello, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I am okay. How about you?
Doing great, sir. I think the Wasco's biggest challenge, I think, that's one thing we overlook, is storage. Because during the rainy season, you have like abundant supply. The rivers are, they are full in a sense. During the dry season, I mean, it goes down. So I think our challenge right now is storage. Because even if, let's say you have a drought or hurricane, I mean, how are you going to really supply St. Lucians with water? So I think Wasco could look at every community based on like the economics of it, geography, and just look, like Rosalie, for example, you have all these hotels with businesses, Mokomos. I mean, every area should have at least a tank that can accommodate probably, I don't know, the gallons, probably what is required, and probably have the water on a rationing system, because Wasco have a lot more overflow than they can even contain. We could even store the water. So I think that's one problem. I think I've been listening to the controversy. While they can do a lot more to improve the service and everything else, but storage.
Yeah.
Where do we put the water? So let's look at areas like let's say Dennery or VA4. I mean Grace. I mean just look at St. Lucia around. I mean every community should have at least 2 or 3 of those tanks as storage. So whenever the supply goes low, while they use from what is stored, they can replenish as the day or the week goes on.
Yes.
So I think Wasco can probably look at that in the long term. Now, speaking about the U.S. and the strikes, I think it's rather interesting to see the position of CARICOM and even our St. Lucian leaders. And you see how vulnerable we are all of a sudden. And it's true. And I think the Caribbean need to look beyond that, our post-colonial history, in a sense of how we position ourselves. Because no longer we could trust, let's say, Russia or China or this one. I mean, we're no longer in the era, I think, where we're looking at socialism and, all of these things kind of diminishing a bit, I think, within our region. I mean, look at Cuba. Look now with the doctors. I mean, what do? Now we say, our doctors can go to study. Then why don't we send them to the EU, those who don't want us to do it then? So I'm thinking, what were the Americans offering that our Caribbean leaders rejected? Probably you can help me.
Well, Colin, unfortunately, our leaders are not having that kind of communication with us. They're not spearheading such discussions. So we don't know what they are being told by the Americans. We don't know what is the way forward. It appears that they themselves, they don't know what to do. And as a result of this, we are in limbo. And even when they hold press conferences, take, for example, our own Prime Minister, he does not say much. He really does not say much. But he must realize that a lot of those things are happening, impacting St. Lucians on the whole. They are the ones who are feeling the full force of whatever action that is being taken by the United States, because the Prime Minister likes to boast that for the time being, he is okay. I mean, he does not have a problem to travel to the United States and get his visa and so on. So it's the ordinary people who are being directly impacted. And that's why you elect people to represent your interests so that they can act on your behalf. Because, the U.S. cannot communicate with the full population of St. Lucia, over 100,000 people. So it's all about leadership, Colin.
Yeah, I think leadership too, and I think as a region, like the OECS, we need to
CARICOM,
closer diplomacy.
CARICOM, Colin.
No, I mean, I'm not even looking at CARICOM for now, because we know CARICOM will not, let's say, unite as I think in the OECS. We have a single, currency, and all of that. So I think we have that power and then we could, because the U.S., I don't think the U.S. want much from St. Lucia. I mean, being the U.S., looking at the politics, even in the Senate and the Congress, they still have problems with that thing about bombing boats. And it's a serious issue. But then let's look at it on the other hand. The U.S. is saying, hey, we are aware of the drugs coming from, and we know St. Lucia is a transshipment port. We know some of the stuff coming to St. Lucia. I'm not saying every St. Lucian, every fisherman is a drug dealer, but then we have not heard from the foreign ministry, from the foreign minister, even the minister of fisheries. At least we should come up with something and say, hey, fishermen, we advise you, let's say from 6 to 6, in the morning, you can go to sea, but after that, because, at least say something.
Not a word.
At least show some communication between the U.S. saying, well, we got communicate. Because, Bridgetown, Barbados, you have the State Department. These guys have phones. We have stuff happening back home, and then back home, people and it's funny, people don't talk. People don't want to ask the questions. It's funny. And then how you expect St. Lucia to get better? And the region to get better when we're still stuck in that post-colonial thing and we want to support. When we go to the UN, you heard these guys speak about colonialism and blah 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 blah. We still need the Americans to come to finance our tourism industry. We need the Brits, we need the Canadians. Without them, what do we have? We don't have agriculture to the degree where we can feed ourselves. So the region is in a very precarious position, but I think it's not beyond I think working out in terms of our partners. I think from last year, the U.S. has been speaking to St. Lucia and the Caribbean, and these guys were playing hardball. So Trump said, okay, he picked up Maduro, and he said, you know what, visa restrictions and everything, because you could see it's a pressure move by the U.S. And I agree with the Prime Minister. It's a difficult time, because they're stifling us. I agree, but then I'm sure they came with some negotiation, but these guys wanted to play tough. So they put it on us,
All right,
but That's what I have to share with you today, man. But
All
have
right.
a good day, brother.
Okay, you too, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Jante, let's find out what is happening in the chat room. What is there to report on?
Starting off with YouTube, Tim, we have one saying PJP studied the concept of sovereignty at university. How can an educated man mispronounce the word sovereignty as serenity? This is what happens when you ride on achievements of others. Another saying, Tim, the dredging fee that we have on our bill for more than 5 years. This money should be used to assist with the upkeep and erecting new trucks. CIP money should assist with erecting new water trucks. Another saying, I agree with the last caller. It's not a management issue. Another saying, pure wickedness. They charged my family $700 in a month, despite not being in arrest. Threatened to shut off the water they paid, something I certainly would not have done. Another saying, so true caller, that's a job for the boys at Wasco. Another asking, what is Blue Waters doing to get their water? Another saying, Wasco's problem is storage and distribution. Our rivers contain water. Moving to Facebook, we have one saying, but the PM is still waiting for an official statement, caller. Another saying, the problem is not water, it is transmission and distribution. Another saying, my suggestion to Wasco, they should look into creating a lake to harvest the high volume of runoff water that is wasted during the rainy season, and in the dry season use it as backup. Another saying, the government we have don't have a foot to put down, they only have a mouth to outlash on Shas.
Thanks so much, Jante, for that update. We have a call via WhatsApp. Hello and good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good day, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Jante, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
PB, I'm trying my best to restrain from calling the show, but I've been paying attention to all what's going on. PB, on Monday this week, in northern Nigeria, Boko Haram ravaged 3 villages, killing dozens and capturing hundreds of young girls. It never made the local news.
Why should it make the local news?
And we're supposed to send our children to Nigeria to study.
Okay, that's why I just asked.
Was Nigeria, Ghana, Mexico, and Brazil 4 of the countries we said would be send our children to?
Yes.
And coincidentally, we never heard of Taiwan and Morocco, where we have our children studying currently. And DB, I have a question for you. What do the names Omar Phillips, Henry Nelson, Roderick Crick, James Biscom, Jean-Marie Joseph, Kenton Henry, Jaquan Hippolyte, James Jonas, Antonia Benoit, plus 1 other have in common.
They don't ring a bell, unfortunately, caller. So maybe you could refresh our memory.
They are the 10 homicide victims for the year that we're hearing nothing about.
Okay.
They are the 10 recorded homicide victims for the year that we're not hearing nothing about. And sometime last week, I heard somebody asking you to ask the NewsSpin statistician how many homicides there have been. Well, according to official sources, it's 70.
For last year?
We can go along with that. I mean, for last year.
Mm-hmm.
We can go along with that. But ask them, what about the 5 that were declassified? On what basis were they declassified? like Bernard Labadie from Industry Chozel. He was one of those declassified. So I want to know why. But I'm not going to question official sources. I'm not looking for no controversy with no persons in authority. As of now, Tim, I'm just observing and existing in this country of mine. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir, and thank you so much for your observations. Let's see if we have some of your messages to go through. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, good afternoon. On a talk show this morning, a man in authority said the security man should not have gone outside of the business. I'm trying to go through this one. Let's see there. Please bear with me, trying to go through it. On a talk show this morning, a man in authority said the security man should not have gone outside of the business place after the boy. It's against the policy of trained security. And Tim, I suspect that these young men, they are saying that have cancer, maybe persons who took the COVID vaccine that needs to be checked out. Please, we are going to be in a shortage of men very soon. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another one says the water plant at Hill 20 is now 40 feet water trucks filling point when citizens of Babonneau have no water. I know that the water trucks used to take water on the docks in Castries. Now it's Hill 20. Very sad and bad. Wasco, they have no supervision. That's why this is being done. That's according to a WhatsApp message. The island has also recorded another road fatality. According to information provided to us, emergency personnel responded to a motor vehicular collision with a motorcycle at Newfield over in Dennery, 7:40 a.m. today. And the motorcyclist suffered facial and bodily trauma. And the victim has been identified as O'Neill Emmanuel. So the latest victim of a road fatality or road accident is O'Neill Emmanuel. So St. Lucia recording yet another road fatality. Somebody says lying is the norm in St. Lucia. More on that in just a moment. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
To have a strong structure, you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, casting sand and plastering sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastouche Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true. With a mortgage built around you, tailored to make sure everything's smooth. 100% financing, it's true. Get a first wish mortgage, it's the best move. Get your mortgage now and fulfill your first wish. Just knowing that First National Bank is here for you. Let's make your first wish come true.
Visit your First National Bank branch or firstnationalbankonline.com to apply for your first wish mortgage.
La Clinique du Corps leads the Caribbean in advanced MRI, aligned with globally recognized standards. Avoid overseas stress, delays, and cancelled scans. Reports in 24 to 48 hours. No translation, no overseas processing. Your doctor receives your imaging directly for seamless continuity of care. All major insurance accepted. Call 451-6559. Once again, 451-6559 or WhatsApp 721-9950. The WhatsApp number 721-9950.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
It's in the feeling in our we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
The Roadhouse experience awaits. Crave something real? Get ready to experience the ultimate destination for unforgettable memories. The Roadhouse experience. Feast your senses with exceptional service, all under one roof. From our classic restaurant and bar to our exclusive private nightclub. Unwind at our elevated hookah bar. Gather in our versatile conference room for any event, or even shop at our variety store. Ditch the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary. Raj Roadhouse promises real vibes, real fun. Nestled in cul-de-sac along the Bexar Highway. Call us at 286-6249 for more information.
Lucilec's remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
Lucia, from my experience, I think one of the most serious problems we face is that we misuse words, or to put it bluntly, we lie. I think too many people in Lucia take lying as the norm, and they lie about the most trivial things as well as the most serious things. And this lying takes place at all levels. In St. Lucia, from my experience, I think one of the most serious problems we face is that we misuse words, or to put it bluntly, we lie. I think too many people in Lucia take lying as the norm, and they lie about the most trivial things as well as the most serious things. And this lying takes place at all levels.
Just a there from local Roman Catholic priest, Father Linus Clovis. Lying is the norm in St. Lucia, he says. What's that message? I'm hearing so much more criticism towards the security officer about what he should or shouldn't have done, yet very little about the young man's behavior. Very good, St. Lucia. Let's keep on enabling the wrong things and see how far that gets us. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another WhatsApp message. I see them beautifying Miku for independence. Independence what? Wasco has an overflow dropping water same speed it collecting for years. All of this water could have been stored somewhere. But come this weekend, I'm betting you it won't be flowing. Too much evidence for infrastructure to be bashed about. Let's see if we have some more of your messages. Somebody says there, Tim, if only the St. Lucian public knew the truth about how heavily polluted our rivers are. It's one of our best kept secrets, right up there with the total passport sales. Some more messages. Another one says, Tim, any news on St. Jude's? Does the briefcase have an arrangement with the U.S. for visas? What is happening with the Ministry of Health? And is there any improvement in the health sector? What about the parking meters in the city? Any update, bro? What about the housing projects and funds allocated to housing? Is the board satisfied with the lineup for St. Lucia Jazz? Honestly, I'm just not satisfied with the leadership in this country. And most importantly, who will they blame this term in office? As according to a WhatsApp message. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, I listened to our Prime Minister this afternoon on the news, and as a St. Lucian, I must say, it is not enough to win a local election. I really think he must take stock and check his attitude. He should try to relax and take his time to speak to the St. Lucian people with respect. He has to stop spitting out his words like he is in permanent defensive mode. He's still playing politics. That is unacceptable behavior. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Let's see if we have some more of your messages to go through. And somebody says there, the Prime Minister already told St. Lucians what he wants to see happen. His solution is that it will take $200 million, so whatever St. Lucians are now saying, they don't care about that. Another WhatsApp message, has the color of our flag changed? I see the colors being painted is blue, black, white, and red. That's according to the WhatsApp message. Another one. And it says some people in certain areas go weeks, months without water. But yet still a lot of these people still rally behind politicians and go to rallies and go to vote for them election after election. What are they voting for? Both yellow and red. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Some of your messages. How much revenue is Wasco losing because of the water shortage as compared to the cost of dredging the dam? I don't understand why they stopped the dredging. And yet another message. Tim, we all know this guy was not under the influence of alcohol and drugs. I think there is so much corruption in this government, and most probably this guy got a frightening by one of the big dogs in government that caused him to take back what he said. We are not stupid. In the first place, he should not have threatened the life of the Prime Minister. No excuse there. Another WhatsApp message. Tim, I love when the influencers can come together on social media and make it fun. Ali Cat, Noah Seas, Dove, and Prosper had a lyrical clash, and it was quite fun and entertaining. Why the youth can't do this? Not always about guns and gangs. I salute them for this. Most St. Lucians were tuned in. Another WhatsApp message. I have my doubts, and if I'm wrong, make sure you prioritize your well-being. That's a WhatsApp message. Okay, let's see if we have some more as we're getting outside to conclude the broadcast. Hey, Tim, I just saw a post on Facebook where ASP Luke De Freitas was speaking about remains being discovered in Miku, believing to be of the gentleman on the boat. Another one says via WhatsApp, meanwhile, Wasco continued to sponsor jazz and carnival. According to Dr. Kenny Anthony, make it make sense. Meanwhile, Wasco continues to sponsor jazz and carnival. Make it make sense. Another one says, I love this. Our Prime Minister is a PDM, permanent defensive mode. And let's see if we have any of your messages. I'm trying to go through all of your messages before we conclude our program. Even if the hotels are doing their own trucking, it is still Wasco's water they are trucking. And it seems the hotels get priority over the residents. You pass by Sandals, Pigeon Point, and there's always two long water trucks. Where is the water coming from? By the way, I recall the same Sandals has their own water desalination plant. That's according to a message sent via WhatsApp. Again, trying to see if we have any of your messages. Somebody says there, good afternoon. We too are frustrated in Bellevue Grosse Delay. We need water. It is almost 5 weeks now. Let me turn my attention to you, Jean-T. Let's find out what is happening in the chat room as we're getting all set to conclude our broadcast.
Well, Tim, starting off on YouTube, we have one saying, if someone refills your shot glass which isn't empty, the rest will end up on the table. Another saying, this might have been a test run by the runners to see if they were safe on the water. Another saying, call out the government was protecting the victory. Another saying, people talk about desalination, But remember, elements are expensive. One element costs like $300 US, and it depends on where you order it from. Plus, you need media filters and carbon filters. Moving to Facebook, we have one saying, especially our leaders. Another saying, where is the dredging fee imposed on all water consumers by Kenny Anthony between 2006 and 2011? The mood is lying to the people. Another saying, there is too much wickedness happening in the country. Once a government can lie blatantly to a nation, we can't expect good results. Shaking my head. Another saying, tenacious Tim for Prime Minister because they keep calling him for Tut Bagay. Another saying, it's rather suspicious that the number of recorded homicides are always in question. We need an independent agency to keep track. Something smells fishy. Another saying, caller, St. Lucia has no competent reporters, just T-boutique reporters. Another saying, we kill more of our own than Trump did. And another saying, Prime Minister does not care about his people. And that's what I'm seeing. No love for the country. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Jante, for that update. WhatsApp message, somebody says, Tim, I agree with the last caller in Monjac. There has been a lot of people who have died with cancer, both young and elderly, and I also want the authorities to investigate. We will take one final call. Here's hoping it will be a quick call at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. And in the meantime, let me see if I have a WhatsApp message. It says there, could you believe the Poleon Health Center is open, but there's no pharmacy? All the shelves are empty as when they were just built, and only one doctor available. So you know they only take a limited number of people. I will send you photos of it. And even right now, it is the only health center that's operating in Babonneau because the Babonneau one is still closed. And look, now they closed the one in Laguerre to start doing repairs. 3 weeks ago, I went to the Laguerre Health Center because Poleon and Babonneau were closed. Upon arrival, they told me they are not taking any more people. I asked, can I at least get my pressure checked? They said, okay. I was waiting for a whole hour plus, and then the nurse is saying, oh, she's going for her lunch. But a friend of hers came there to see the doctor, and she allowed him to see the doctor, even before some people with numbers. Ministry of Health need to check on the slackness that goes on in those health centers. They are not taking health seriously at all. Final call on the landline. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you on the air.
Timothy, a pleasant good afternoon to you and your listeners all over the world. PW on the line.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Timothy, you know, it is so interesting that a lot of prominent people have called your show and they have spoken about what is happening to our fisher folks. And some of them that have called the news program never try in one way or the other criticize the Americans. They always want to criticize the government. Yes, we can criticize the government for not hearing from them concerning what is happening on the open seas. But I have very few criticism when it comes to the American government. Take, for example, the guy that threatened the Prime Minister. I believe he shouldn't have gone that far. But if he have a beef to deal, he should deal it with the American government and not Philip J. Pierre. I heard Mr. Herman Gill Francis. He came, he spoke about the guy had to be apprehended. Yes, I certainly agree with him. He said our cooperation with the government of the United States, yes, we have to cooperate with them, but cooperate with them, what? With the extrajudicial killing? With the blowing up of vessels on the sea? You understand? He too has to come out and criticize the American government, that thing they call the born-again visa, where every St. Lucian try to protect. They try to protect it. In a way, they try to protect it by not criticizing things that are going wrong when it comes to the American policy. That is all what they try to protect. They would agree with injustice in this country as long as they carry a visa and as long as it's been done by the American government. You know, the starving of Cubans, fuel, medicine, and also, when it comes to food, they would have agreed with that because they carry a born-again visa. To them, it's a piece of diamond, it's a piece of gold. But PW is saying to the Caribbean people, don't let an American visa retard you from visiting other countries and to do without American policies and to do without things that you get and receive from the Americans. Timothy, I thank you.
Thank you also, caller. WhatsApp messages before we conclude our broadcast. I just saw the pictures of the motorcycle accident victim in Dennery, and I must admit that it's a sad and scary situation in St. Lucia. It's an extremely dangerous and risky thing to drive the roads. The young man with the small cars are driving like it's a motorcycle they have. The minibus is stopped to pick up passengers with half the bus on the road, overtaking in corners. The truckers create long lines of traffic and don't allow no one to get past them. Tim, our roads are scary. And another person says there, good day, Tim. I found an ID card next to the Castries Health Center. I dropped it at the Marshall Police Station. Can you please inform the holder of that ID card? And that individual is one Nicholas M. LeBron. And you lost that ID card, and your address is Summersdale Castries. Okay, Summersdale Castries or St. Lucian, and you are Nicholas M. LeBron. So you lost your ID card. It was found next to the Castries Health Center, and it was dropped off at the Marshall Police Station. And another person says via WhatsApp, just one more. It says that Tim, this government is more focused on FET for the people of St. Lucia. Lucians love a party. This is how they fool them and get the votes. This is very sad. No development and no progress in the country. Finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. It reads, Trump has discussed timeline for Iran strikes, including as soon as this weekend, but no decision yet. The NewsSpin news of the day. Trump has discussed timeline for Iran strikes, including as soon as this weekend, but no decision yet. And that's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.